Should India be worried that China has begun constructing their $170 billion worth dam on Brahmaputra already? Is this about hydropower or is it actually about hegemony? Is this another form of water war that we are going to see between India and China? China has begun the construction of world's largest hydropower dam, and it just seems like that China is building the Great Wall of Water after the Great Wall of China it has. Even though it seems like an accomplishment on the global order, but it has its implications which are important for India to understand and decipher for its own good. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh and today we will be talking about world's largest hydropower dam. What are the concerns associated with it? What are the implications for India? And we'll be also looking into that what India can do in this situation. So when we talk about this largest hydropower dam, it is being located in the Medong County and it is in the autonomous region of Tibet. Now when we talk about this particular location of this dam, you have to understand it is just before the Great Bend that is present in Brahmaputra river. So Brahmaputra river starts near Kailash Mansarovar and it travels at Zangbo and it enters Arunachal Pradesh after this Great Bend. Now this particular project is located just before the Great Bend and it will definitely have an effect on the stream flow that we see of Brahmaputra. Now when we are talking about this river on which this dam is placed, it is the upper stream of Brahmaputra, which is also known by the name Yarlung Zangbo, and the estimated cost is the mind-boggling $170 billion, and it is going to be not just the largest hydropower project but the most expensive infrastructure project as well. Now the question that arises here is what is the main capacity usage of this particular dam when we are talking about China? Is it about hydropower or is it about hegemony and expansionism that China has always been paining about? So when we talk about the capacity of this particular dam, we get to see that almost 300 kilowatt years per hour output is going to see, and this output is almost 3 times that comes out of the Three Gorges Dam. Now, if you want to understand that what is this amount of power, so ये इतनी power है कि अगर हम India की बात करें तो it is enough to power India for a year, and another example that I would want to give you, it is enough to run Britain for 3 years. So this amount of power will facilitate China to reduce its dependence on coal-fired power. That means we also see China's transition from fossil fuels towards comparatively cleaner energy. Now this can also be understood from China's end कि यहाँ पे China जो है एक transition करना चाह रही है green energy की तरफ और अपने कार्बन न्यूट्रलिटी टारगेट्स जो है उनको फुलफिल करने के लिए यहाँ पे ये जो डैम का कंस्ट्रक्शन है इनके लिए काफ़ी इम्पॉर्टेंट हो जाता है। साथ ही साथ ये क्लियरली दिखाता है कि यहाँ पे चाइना की टेक्नोलॉजिकल डोमिनेंस जो है स्पेशली मेगा डैम कंस्ट्रक्शन में, जो कि ये पहला इकलौता प्रोजेक्ट नहीं है, चाइना में ऐसे कई प्रोजेक्ट्स जो हैं हमने देखे हैं. सो इट बेसिकली again re-emphasizes on the technological dominance that this particular country carries with it. It also highlights that there will be a strategic leverage that China will gain over the river systems which are present in South Asia, and China, just like it does, it is going to use this leverage into the expansionist behavior, hegemonist behavior that it has shown over the years. Now this was about China's end, that what does the dam look like, where it is placed, but the question is that it is so close to India's Arunachal Pradesh border that it will definitely have effects in terms of geopolitical angles, it will have effects in terms of strategic angles. Now let us try to understand these dimensions. When we are talking about the location of this particular dam, as I have already highlighted, that it is located just before the Great Bend. And after the Great Bend itself, Brahmaputra river enters Arunachal Pradesh and then it flows on with multiple tributaries it has. Now this particular thing also makes this river system very important from the perspective of exams, because हमने देखा है even in prelims यहाँ पर direct questions, be it about Brahmaputra, be it about tributaries, they have showed up. तो यहाँ पे इस पर्टिकुलर लेंस से भी आपके लिए ये समझना जो है थोड़ा सा इम्पॉर्टेंट जो है यहाँ पे हो जाता है. सो व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस पर्टिकुलर लोकेशन, यहाँ पे हमें पहला हाइड्रो पावर प्रोजेक्ट जो ब्रह्मपुत्रा पे स्टार्ट किया था चाइना में, वो भी देखने को मिलता है. दैट बिकेम ऑपरेशनल इन 2014 एंड द अदर डैम्स आर कमिंग अप क्लोजर टू इंडियाज बाउंड्री इटसेल्फ. सो व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट the implication, the first implication and the obvious one becomes that there is geographical proximity that is present in front of us. When we talk about geographical proximity, ये clearly highlight करता है कि जो अरुणाचल प्रदेश वाला एरिया है वो हमेशा से डिस्प्यूटेड रहा है, ये कंट्रोल्ड है इंडिया से, बट चाइना जो है इसे क्लेम करता है. और यहाँ पर यही रीज़न है कि फ्यूचर वाटर डाइवर्जन या फिर इरिगेशन या फिर स्ट्रैटेजिक पर्पसेस के लिए चाइना जो है इस जोग्राफिकल प्रॉक्सिमिटी को लेवरेज करेगा. और ये साथ ही साथ क्लियरली हाईलाइट करता है पॉसिबिलिटी जो हम देखते हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ वाटर वॉर, क्योंकि वॉर्स के जो मीन्स हैं अब कन्वेंशनल नहीं रह गए हैं. वी हैव एंटर्ड अ ग्रे जोन वॉर एरा वेयर द अदर मीन्स, बी इट साइबर वॉरफेयर, बी इट बायोलॉजिकल वॉरफेयर, indirect means of war are being looked into, and China holds some speciality there. So in this context, this geographical proximity is a concerning thing that we see. इसके अलावा यहाँ पर सबसे बड़ा एक इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट जो इंडिया की तरफ से यहाँ पर स्ट्रैटेजिक कंसर्न ये है कि हमारे पास किसी भी तरीके की वाटर शेयरिंग ट्रीटी जो एग्जिस्ट नहीं करती है. अगर हम इंडिया पाकिस्तान की बात करें, इंडस वाटर ट्रीटी है. अगर हम बांग्लादेश इंडिया की बात करें तो भी हमारे पास ट्रीटी वाटर शेयरिंग एग्रीमेंट जो है प्रेजेंट है. बट इंडिया और चाइना के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में ऐसी कोई भी ट्रीटी जो है वो एग्जिस्ट नहीं करती है. फिर भी हमें ये देखने को मिलता है कि इंडिया और चाइना जो है 5 ट्रांसबाउंड्री रिवर्स शेयर करते हैं. एंड ये काफ़ी शॉकिंग है कि यहाँ पर हमारे पास किसी भी तरह की वाटर ट्रीटी प्रेजेंट नहीं है. एज ऑफ नाउ 2013 में एक MOU साइन हुआ था जिसमें सिर्फ हाइड्रोलॉजिकल डेटा शेयरिंग की बात हुई थी, और ये MOU भी नॉन एग्जिस्टेंट ही मान सकते हैं. रीजन बी व्हेनेवर टेंशंस राइज बिटवीन दीज टू नेशंस, दिस स्टैंड्स सस्पेंडेड इटसेल्फ. Now we have established two parts: geographical proximity. Second, we have understood there is no water sharing treaty. Third is the fact that there is a direct link of this to the border disputes. So we have seen LAC standoff, multiple standoffs since 2020, and this dam construction will be seen, and it does exist at China's broader strategy where it will be using infrastructure to encircle India. Now this infrastructure which can control the stream flow of Brahmaputra, which will affect the stream flow of Brahmaputra, will definitely be a strategic leverage that China is going to use in coming times, and it will also affect the regional power projections that are present in front of us. China will be using water infrastructure to gain diplomatic points with Nepal, with Bhutan, as well as Bangladesh. That means turning our neighbors onto the other side and taking away our own allies from our own backyard itself. And then this will lead to a potential domino effect that we'll be seeing especially on India's lower riparian relations when we are talking about the effects that are associated with riparian relationships. So this will be a continuous cycle. If this dam becomes fully operational and functional, it will set multiple things into motion that will be, most of them will not be in favor of India. अब यहाँ पे जो हमने कंसर्न्स की बात की, सिर्फ इंडिया के टर्म्स में कंसर्न्स नहीं है. ये डैम जो कि इतना बड़ा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, देयर आर अदर कंसर्न्स एसोसिएटेड विद इट व्हिच आर जनरल इन नेचर, व्हिच शुड बी लुक्ड इनटू बाय ग्लोबल ऑर्डर एज वेल. So now let us look into those concerns. The first risk that comes with this particular dam is the seismic risk. Now because of the amount of water capacity it holds and the region it is located in, This dam is in highly earthquake prone area as well as landslide susceptible zone of the eastern Himalayas. Now, as we know, massive dam structures, they easily destabilize the terrain. Now, this is a combination for disaster where the region is already fragile and you are constructing a dam which makes it further destabilized. Furthermore, it will also have an immense hydrological impact. So, जब हम hydrological impact की बात करें तो हमें सबसे पहले समझना पड़ेगा कि यहाँ पे ब्रह्मपुत्रा का जो seasonal flow है वो इस डैम के construction की वजह से alter होगा. And once it is alters, it will threat the Assam's flood ecology that exists. It will affect the biodiversity, it will affect the people, it will affect the livelihoods, it will affect the riverine islands that exist there. And the disruption of sediment load as well as delta formation in downstream Brahmaputra will be directly hit. And यहाँ पर सिर्फ इंडिया जो है वो इफेक्ट नहीं होगा, बांग्लादेश पे भी हमें इफेक्ट्स देखने को मिलेंगे. Additionally, there will be risks of flash floods or water scarcity, especially in northeastern India during the lean seasons. So, we are also prone to the hydrological extremities that come in form of impacts. And that is not all. We also are going to see where there is going to be an immense biodiversity loss. Brahmaputra's altered season flow will result in a biodiversity's hotspot damage where we have multiple endangered species like Gangetic dolphin, riverine turtles, and this will also be seen in form of disrupted migration cycles for fishes, reduced nutrient-rich silt, which is going to affect agriculture, which is going to affect livelihoods. It will also have an effect on glacier melt in terms of pressure. Himalayas are warming faster than global average. So, melting glaciers, that means more water flow, then massive damming clubbed with it, that means hydrological impact is going to be heightened and it might lead to double hydrological stress. So, the impacts in terms of hydrology, in terms of seismicity, in terms of glacier melt, ecological loss are also something that we need to take in consideration, and that brings us to the question that what should India do? India यहाँ पे क्या कर सकता है कि इस given situation में जहाँ पे चाइना अपने region में डैम बना रहा है और इसको as a leverage use करेगा, चाहे वो water war के लिए हो, चाहे वो hegemony के लिए हो, चाहे leverage के लिए हो, what can be done? So here we have to focus on the situation of containment also and alignment also. When we are talking about containment, in this situation, we have to go for strategic infrastructure push. We have to accelerate our hydropower and multi-purpose projects which are present in Northeast, be it Subhansiri Dam, be it Siang Dam. We have to invest in early warning system, upstream monitoring systems. We have to create Brahmaputra Basin Authority which can coordinate this river basin planning, and this can be executed in an efficient and due manner because now this system cannot be left alone and in a lighter way. Other than that, we also need to look into the diplomacy and global engagement. This is the part I was talking about, alignment. When we talk about alignment, we have to use the UN Convention of Transboundary Waters framework and advocate for it. We have to use multilateral forums where we are associated with China, be it BRICS, be it SCO, BIMSTEC, to raise the concern of regional hydropolitics. We have to deepen water cooperation with Bangladesh as well as Bhutan, so they are strong lower riparian bloc and we do not stand anywhere lower as compared to China in terms of riparian relationships. Furthermore, it becomes imminent at this point of time for India to invest in surveillance and tech monitoring. Expansion of satellite imagery, drone mapping, AI-based river flow models, and sharing of real-time data with state governments as well as Northeast region so that we are prepared for anything that goes wrong or in the south direction. And definitely, this is the time that China would use its leverage. So we need to come up with a border Tibet policy, and we need to recalibrate it to suit it the given condition, in which we can focus on cultural diplomacy, especially in Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim. We can push back against Chinese narratives, which is talking about that Tibet's water has its sovereignty towards China, and we also would have to look into global civil society support, especially on Tibetan ecological fragility. Now, this particular topic becomes important from you from multiple dimensions, not just from geography, IR, but also from the context of environment because of the zone that then this dam is building, from the context of disaster management as well. I hope you got clarity on this particular topic. That was all for now. Thank you so much.